One thing about the enemy, he will never get tired. So if you're waiting for him to stop and just leave you alone, or you think eventually he'll go ahead and give up, then you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. If anything, his job is to make sure you give up. It's to make sure you give up on your purpose and you stop trying, that you stop praying. He wants to wear you out so badly that you don't even feel like praying. You know, those days where you go, I'll just do this later. I'll read my Bible later. I'll listen to the word later. I'll pray longer later. And you put it off. That's because you've been praying. You've been reading. But then he's wearing you out because he's telling you, like, look, you're still in this mess. You did all this praying, all this reading, and nothing's happening. Just do something else and come back to it. The enemy will convince you that all of that is a good idea. But putting God off at any point in your life is never a good idea. It is always a lie and a tactic of the enemy. See, the thing about the enemy, he is always going to show up for work on time and early. Okay? He is going to show up to run his business on time, every time. And guess what? You are his business. He's never going to quit. He's never going to give up. So guess what? Don't you give up. Don't you quit. Go harder. Pray harder. Pray more committed. It's not about being stronger in your prayer the way you verse it. It's about being diligent and persistent and consistent. It's showing up no matter what. Okay? You could be laying on the floor under a gray cloud that is raining on just you and feel like you're drowning. And in that moment, you're still using whatever breath you have left to pray and to worship and to praise. Because guess what? Nothing upsets the enemy more than you worshiping when you should be crying, than you worshiping when you feel like yelling, when you're mad. Nothing upsets him more than when you literally call out to God and when you rejoice. And he's looking at you like, are you serious? How dare you rejoice in your suffering? Yes, it angers him. Resist the temptations of the enemy, the temptations to be angry, the temptations to give up. And guess what? He will flee from you. You have to submit to God. And submitting to God is worship. Submitting to God is obedience. Submitting to God is not giving up when you feel like giving up. It's worshiping when you feel like being angry. It's worshiping when you feel like crying. It's worshiping when you're going through, when something hurts, when you don't know how it's going to happen, when you're concerned. It's worshiping. That's submitting to God. It's reading your word when you don't feel like it. And resisting the enemy, resisting the urges, resisting those thoughts, resisting the urge to give up and to give in. And he will flee from you. Believe me, he will. And that is a guarantee. I wish you guys all the best. You can do it. I know you can. God knows you can. You can do it. And guess what? I believe you know you can. And you will. You will. And there will be testimonies. And there will be more trials, and there will be more pressing in. There will be more resisting the enemy, submitting to God. It's a process. It's a continual process. But if you remember to be persistent in that process, God wins every time. I love you guys to the heavens and back, but most importantly, God loves you so much more than that. I pray that he continues to shine his face upon you all the days of your life, and may those days be long and filled with abundance of peace, prosperity, and protection. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.